I'll do a little review on this YARDMAX 25-ton hydraulic log splitter. I've been using it a bit and got some decent impressions of it. I was excited when I got it in the crate. I ordered this off Wood Splitter Direct, and so I threw it together. Everything was all hooked up, came with hydraulic fluid. Made it a little interesting with that full beam. You had to kind of get that balanced and stuff, and I had them unload it on the back of that trailer, and you definitely want to move the crate off the trailer. That would have made things easier, and if you have the option, use a hoist helps too. Even if you're not picking it all the way up, it would just help to not have that great big heavy beam balanced while you're wiggling stuff around it. But all in all, I really like the splitter. So you got your normal detent valve with the auto return. I really like this wedge. It's profiled with a little bit narrower. A lot of the other ones just come in like that, and I like having that solid steel weldable insert. I suppose a person can sharpen that if they want, but if something ever happened, you could also replace that, which is nice. I don't think it'll be necessary, but it's nice little feature. You got these in case the wood gets stuck, knock it back off. Has an interesting feature here. Got this, which these are nice and tall, so they prevent the wood from coming loose once you're splitting it. I have seen wood kick out on splitters. It's usually a user error about having it in at an angle. This thing rotates, and I'm not sure. I understand what they're attempting to do there, but these are wide enough the wood never really sticks on them, and I've never really used the rotating feature on it. But it rattles. If you don't have pressure on it, that rattles. It drives me up the wall. So I'll give it a little longer, and if I'm sure I'm not using it, I will probably pull it out, clean up some of this paint, and weld it in place and just pull that pin out. I think that would work better for me. And it did come with a 4-way wedge. I took it off. I didn't find it overly useful, but I've always wanted to try one, and we'll see. If you got into just the right wood, I'll probably put it back on. Smaller diameter, pop it in 4, be done. But this wood that I'm working on right now is pretty big. It's 4 to 6 foot rounds. So it leaves some pretty big chunks. Now this one will split horizontal and vertical. We'll walk around here to the other side. Just pull that pin and tip it up. Now your pins are nice and good size. That's pin there, which it has to be a good size, but it seems to be real well built. It has a 2-inch trailer ball. The other thing that I like is instead of having to pull a keeper pin out and stuff, that's just spring loaded for the trailer jack. So you pull that and kick that back. These little wings on the side, they're not really tables. You can buy a table, or I might make one that goes a little wider, because I have found myself liking the split in this orientation quite a bit more. But if you look, there's another hole right beside there, so if you loosen that up, take that bolt out, you can tip this up at an angle, and I might try that because it'll keep stuff from trying to roll off. The motor has a couple features I like. Obviously on-off switch right there. I thought it was an odd location, but whether you're horizontal or vertical, it's pretty reachable, which is nice. The two other things that I haven't seen on other splitters I've used that I really like is this has a fuel shut off That's your choke, but it has a built-in fuel shutoff and throttle adjustment. You can throttle it up and down, so if you're going to be splitting some wood or you got to wrestle around with something, you can just throttle it down to an idle, you know, and then idle it back up when you're ready to use it. It's a Briggs Stratton CR950 208cc. I haven't actually looked up the horsepower on it. I'm guessing it's somewhere in between a 5.5 and a 6. You know, it does advertise 9.5 foot-pounds of torque at 2600 RPMs. It seems to get the job done. The other thing I liked about this log splitter is a hydraulic pump. It has I don't remember the spec off the top of my head, but it has a higher gallon per minute flow rate than other splitters in this size, which means it cycles faster, which is nice. And I'd like to see if I could find some more specs on that hydraulic pump, because the other thing I notice is there, you know, it's a 2-stage pump, I assume. I need to actually look that up, but most hydraulic log splitters are, and you know, if they say, oh, you got 11 gallons a minute, then you'll have like 8 gallons per minute at, you know, some lower PSI, and then you'll have 3 gallons per minute at a higher PSI that actually gives you your power to split. So when you actually hit something hard, it slows way down. Well, this one slows down a little bit, but it bogs the motor down, which I haven't seen before, and it doesn't slow down nearly like what other hydraulic log splitters do. You know, so I'm guessing that there's a much higher ratio of the gallon per minute rate on your higher PSI, which makes it nice. It just ultimately splits faster. You know, and this total unit, I think with shipping, was around $1,000. So, you know, I've been quite pleased with it. And, you know, 25 ton, but the thing is when you look into these, you know, obviously you kick up to 35 ton, it's different, but like your 24, 26 ton, even some of your 28s I've looked at, they have the same size hydraulic cylinder. So the only way you're getting more splitting forces with getting a higher PSI out of your pump, which a lot of the components are all rated about the same. So, you know, it's like finding the right pump that, you know, they did something to it and got slightly higher PSI, even though it doesn't effectively process at that, you know. So in my opinion, 24 to 26 tons all going to be the same splitting amount. So, and I've had in the past, it was many years ago, but I had a 37 ton, and quite frankly I found that these 26 are just as good for the wood we have here, and that may be something different if you have oak or something to that effect. You know, here splitting like the Doug fir and the hemlock and alder and maple and stuff, what I found is that, you know, your mid-20s split it just fine. And if you get something that these are struggling with, it's usually a great big knot, and even, you know, you bump it up and it doesn't split it, it just smashes it and ruins the piece of wood. So my opinion, you're just better off tossing that one off to the side and chainsawing it in half. You know, there's no point in fighting with it. You know, it's either one's going to smash them up, and you know, it all depends on what you have for wood. You know, we don't have hardly any of the oaks and stuff here, and maybe that's something different, but you know, this is what we have, and that's what I've found with them. So I will get this set up and start doing a little more splitting while it's nice and cool. Get out here 6 o'clock in the morning or so, and you know, get the splitting done before it's 90 plus.
you.